I'm here with one of my students. He saw some results from the program, so we're just going to go over it real quick. So super excited to be talking to you today, Kellen. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain. And so I guess like the first question I have for you was like, what was really the main thing that made you want to join the mastermind or get mentorship in general?
Yeah, I think it was really trying to find a way to brand myself and also to effectively find artists and reach out to them. I was going through some issues of one, finding artists who are willing to invest in themselves and invest in their music, um, but also dealing with any sort of like getting ghosted or any sort of objections that come up and how to handle that communication wise. So.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, and it's like I think you effectively did all that because in terms of results, like for anyone watching, because you got to 1,000 a month in revenue, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was for July actually. So,
Okay, got you. Awesome, man. Yeah, and how many sales did it take to get there?
gosh, I think that was like only three. Um, yeah, that was a weird month because they can come pretty quickly, and you can go where you have a couple calls that don't work out, a couple sales calls that don't work out, and then you have two that you really, hit it out the park, and that makes up for those two ones that didn't work out. So, yeah, I think it was three or four calls that month that closed. So,
Got you, got you. Yeah, because in terms of that, it's like you can do it in more or less, but I mean to get to 1,000, you don't have to do anything too fancy. In terms of like social media, sometimes people are like, "Oh, well, you had 10,000 followers or 20,000," but how many followers did you have? I guess if you were going to guesstimate it around that time that got you to 1,000 a month.
yeah, well, I remember when we first started working, when I entered the program, it was like I think I probably had like 70. And yeah, I think probably when I was making those sales, maybe under 200. So not a lot. But I had some content on my page. I know you were encouraging me to fill out the first 9 posts with
Yeah.
content displaying my work and my face. Um, but yeah, I really didn't have a big following at all. So, and I still don't. So
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of goes to say that like you don't need to be like some massive mega producer to get sales online or sell high ticket. So yeah, I love that, man. I love that. So, and in terms of like the offers that you were selling, were you doing anything fancy, or what was the main offer you were selling high ticket?
the main offer was gosh, it was five beats for 500. And I think I also went down to, it was really depending on where the artist was at. I would
Okay.
get a read of what their kind of normal price range would be for what they'd spend on beats if they were qualified for that. And it was very adjustable. So I think I sold some that were like 250 for 5 beats, and then I sold one that was 4 beats for $500.
Nice.
So it really
Nice.
kind of depended on the artist, but it was very flexible,
Cool.
especially because I wasn't selling exclusives.
Okay, and that was going to be my next question because, if someone's saying like, "Oh, if you sell an exclusive for $100, of course it's easy," but those were non-exclusive, and you still were able to sell $500 offers. So it just goes to say like, you had the sales skills, that we worked on, and we're able to get that tied down to get money on the call. So, and I guess like my last question, bro, because we can make it short and sweet for sure. But yeah, if anybody was like looking at this was a little bit skeptical, and they're like, well, like since you had 200 followers or whatever, and you got to 1,000 a month, maybe I could do the same thing. But they're not quite sure about joining the program yet. What would you kind of tell them to push them over the edge?
Mm, I would say that in order to experience growth, you have to get outside of your comfort zone. And I think that looks different for everyone, wherever they're at on their journey. Um, I think the building your brand and posting content, that does more than that did more for me than I thought it would. and just showing your face is a huge, huge step. And I know some people don't do it and some people refuse to. But I would say just get outside of your comfort zone and be like open to failing and like failing forward. Um, because it does take a lot of resilience, but it's not impossible and it doesn't require like any unique set of talent or skills. Like you learn them as you go. So that would be my message to anyone who's like on the fence. It's definitely, definitely doable.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah, no, no, absolutely, man. It's like if you're willing to put in a little bit of work and a little bit of learning, you can accomplish anything. So, so yeah, and you're proof of that. You're proof of that. So we're not done yet, but yeah, appreciate you joining me today, man. It's good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.